gonna be a couple different part video because I got a couple things going on. And I am going to show you, in case you've ever wondered, in case you've never even tried it, how to cook pasta. And then I'm gonna do how to cook boiled eggs. And then after that, how do you throw together a nice easy pasta salad? Good meal for summertime, easy, not gonna cost you a lot of money, and it'll last you several days. I'm out of town right now, so I'm not in my home kitchen, I'm in my company kitchen. So that's why I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna make this big pasta salad. That'll give me some food to put in the refrigerator. I don't like to have to go out and buy fast food when I'm out for work. Number one, because it's so stupid expensive now. And second of all, it's so bad for you. So I like to be able to bring my own food and just throw some stuff together, and that way I'm eating better and I feel better about what I'm eating. So as you can see, maybe you can see, I got some steam coming up here. I just got my water coming to a boil. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw in my pasta. Now what I'm using is just rotini noodles. Pick out Walmart, it's like $1 and you can get a pound of noodles. So I'm gonna go ahead and cook the whole thing because I'm gonna make this up for several days worth of food. So, I'm gonna wear my shirt. Anyway, so yeah, water's boiling, so let's go ahead and throw this in. Voila, right? Easy. The other thing that I want to make sure that I tell you when it comes to cooking pasta, you don't want your heat super high. So right now I have my heat on the highest setting just because I was getting my water to boil, get it up to temperature. So once my pasta's in and I start cooking it and moving it around, I want to turn that heat down, because if I leave it high like that, it's going to boil over. Maybe you've had that experience, maybe you've tried that before. But yes, it's just going to start boiling over, white foam's going to go everywhere. So once you get your pasta in, start stirring it, turn the temperature down. And then just kind of keep an eye on it. If it starts to get white and foamy, your temperature's too high. So this is an electric stove, I'm turning it down to about a 6. Now in general, I'm going to tell you, I can cook pasta to feed myself and my family. I'm not an Italian chef by any stretch. So there's gonna be some that are, you gotta cook it this many minutes to make it al dente, you gotta cook it this many minutes. Just plan to cook it between 8 and 10 minutes. That's what you need. All right, and my other pot is going over here also. I don't know if I'm gonna do that in the same video or not, but I'm going to. So I'm gonna do, it's the exact same thing. I don't know if you can see it. It is boiling up just like a crazy person, because I turned it all the way up and I put the lid on so I could get that water boiling fast. Be careful of steam. You don't want steam on yourself, that's gonna burn. I'm gonna turn this down to about 5, 6, something like that. But once that water is up and boiling, I'm gonna start throwing in those eggs. Don't just dump them in there, you'll crack them. So put them in a spoon so you can put them in softly. I'm only gonna do about 6 eggs. I like eggs in my pasta salad. Okay, now I am gonna actually set a timer because I like my eggs soft, boiled. 8 minutes is the key, at least what I have found. Now, if you're at a different elevation, if you're way up in the mountains or something, it might be different. But under normal circumstances, 8 minutes makes a perfectly boiled egg for me. So those, I don't have to do anything with them. Just set the timer and I can go ahead and pay attention to something else while those are cooking. You do want to stir your pasta every now and then. If you don't stir it at all, it's going to get sticky. So just give it a little stir, make sure it's doing its thing. Voila, we're doing great. Next thing I'm going to go ahead and prepare, I'm going to get out a bowl of really cold water. Let's see what we got down here in the company kitchen. Gonna have to do something different. I think I'm gonna use my finished bowl. I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna pop it in the sink and I'm just gonna make really, really cold water. Now, I live in the north, easy to get really cold water. If you live in the south, I found out from personal experience that sometimes your tap water just does not get that cold. If it doesn't, throw in some ice cubes, okay? Because you want this water to be really cold, because what you want it to do is stop the cooking process as soon as you pop the eggs in here. Because if you overcook your eggs, they're still edible, they're still fine, but they start to look really gross and they get that little gray look to them and they don't look appetizing. So you want to stop that cooking process as soon as you can. So I'm just gonna have this in place. and then I'll be set up and ready to go. The nice thing is those eggs are gonna cook in about the same time as the pasta. So you set one timer, you're pretty much good for both. This water is not getting cold. I have a well water at home. I think it gets colder faster. So even though we're not in the South, we might be throwing some ice cubes in that water. Make it nice cold. All right, we're gonna stand still. This is gonna take about another 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna pull those eggs out, get them cooled off, and I'm gonna get that pasta drained, and then we'll be going forward from there. So I will see you in about 5 minutes. Okay, so a couple minutes have gone by. Those eggs are just about to come out. I ended up doing some ice cubes in my water because I just couldn't get really cold water out of the tap here. Normally I just leave this right in the sink. It's just easier, but for the purposes of video, I'll put it here so that you can see what we've got going on. We've been stirring our pasta over here, and it's getting softer and it's getting bigger. We're gonna give it just a few more minutes, let it do its thing. Perfect. And then we got just about 30 seconds left to go on our eggs, but as soon as that timer goes off, I get those eggs out. You wanna get them out, get them cold, and then stop that cooking process so that they're just the way you like them. And like I said, I like mine to be a little soft boiled. I'll cut one open and you'll be able to see, you know, exactly what that looks like. You may like them a little bit more, you may like them a little bit less, but you're probably not gonna change up your cooking time by more than a minute. So if this is a little bit like you'd like them to be a little bit firmer, then try 9 minutes and see how that works for you. But as soon as that timer goes off, they are out of that water, they are into the cold water. And then they can just sit there. Oh, see, there we go. Turn that off. And I take them out with a spoon too, just like I put them in. Well, usually a slotted spoon is gonna work better. Here, let me switch this out so that the water can drain out of it. So we'll use this one instead, better. Right into the cold water. All right, I guess I can turn that heat off too, probably. Okay, there's that. Might as well get this off of here. Be really careful that you don't burn yourself, things that are steamy hot. All right, and I'll take it, put it off of the burner. We don't have any reason to have that keep heating up. This pasta's looking really good. I think it's been just about probably 9 minutes. I'm probably gonna give it just one more minute. But one thing you can do is, if you're not so sure and you wanna try it, just grab a little piece. So we'll just use a spoon, we'll grab out a piece of pasta. And please don't burn yourself with the pasta. Just blow on it, try and cool it off a little bit, and then eat it and see if it's crunchy. It's not done yet. It doesn't really have a crunch anymore, but I think, like I said, just about 1 minute is probably gonna be good. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and turn the heat off. It'll stay hot for another minute, no reason to leave that on. All right. And what I also have, so what you see I got here, I got my eggs that are cooling down. I went ahead and diced up some tomato. I diced up some cucumber. And I got some feta cheese. And when I do the, make sure you wash off your vegetables for sure before you cut them up. I usually take the skins off of the cucumbers and take the seeds out. Largely I take the skins off because like I'm not balling with the organic. I don't have the money to be buying all organic fruit and vegetables. So if you get something like apples or cucumbers or whatever where you can cut the skin off, that's gonna get rid of a lot of pesticides and stuff that were used while it was laying out in the field. Now if they come out of your own garden, that's a whole different story. But if you're getting them at the grocery store, make sure you're washing them. And if it's reasonable to remove the skin, remove the skin. That just make it a little bit healthier for you. The other thing I've got going here, I brought this with me from home. This is the Italian dressing. You'll see on one of my other videos, I show you how to make this dressing. And it's so good. It's so good and it's so easy. It does separate while it's sitting in the refrigerator. That's super normal and expected because the seasonings and the whole things are heavier than the oil, so they're just gonna separate. This is how you should expect it to look when it comes out of the refrigerator. Take it out, maybe 10 minutes or so before you plan on using it, because everything in there, some of the fats and stuff are going to kind of solidify. It's going to be a little bit more of a solid. So let it out of the refrigerator a little bit early, let it come to a little bit warmer temperature, and you can see it's already, it's all ready to, and then you're just going to shake it back up, not take hardly anything at all, and it's going to be, your dressing is going to be ready to go. So those are all the things that we'll be putting on the pasta. I think enough time has gone by. I'm gonna go ahead and drain that pasta, and then I'll have you back and put all the ingredients together so you can see what it looks like. Okay, one other thing I want to show you real quick, leaning over the sink here, is if you've never had to peel an egg, I just show you how I do it. Makes it a little bit easier, because sometimes you peel the stupid shell off and like half the egg wants to come with it, right? So I'm just gonna show you how I do it. I have relatively good success with it. So if you've never peeled an egg, we're gonna go down here. All right. Take it out, and they're nice and cool now. You can tell they're cool to the touch, and then you should be good to peel them. And I just tap. You want to tap the small side, like the bigger side, and then the smaller side. Just tap it on something hard. Get it kind of broken up, and then start peeling off. And I use that water that they're sitting in. If you start to struggle at all, if it's not coming off nice and smooth and easy, use some of that water. Put it on your hand. Put it on the egg. Do something. And that should help to keep that shell from sticking to the egg. And then I give it all a rinse, because sometimes a little piece of shell is still on there. You don't want to eat that. And then see there, egg is peeled. So I'm going to peel the rest of these, and then we'll throw it all together and make the actual salad. Okay, so I got my eggs all peeled, and I'm just going to cut them up and show you what an 8-minute boil egg looks like. So cut it in half, and there, can you see that? It's got just a little bit of softness still in that yolk, but nicely cooked, nicely colored. It's appetizing to look at. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut all these eggs up. I'm gonna throw them in my bowl. We're gonna throw all the ingredients together, and you'll be able to see what the pasta salad looks like. So let's get these all cut up. I'm gonna cut them a little smaller too. I usually do like 3 cuts per side. That's usually good for me. There's no magic way to cut up an egg. It's gonna give you the same nutrition no matter how you cut it. And you do what you like. More. Dump some of those in the bowl, get them up on board. 2 more to go. Feeding yourself does not have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be expensive. You just want to make sure that you're the one who's controlling what goes into your body. All right, so there's all the eggs. I've thrown in my bowl here. And let me see. I've had the pasta draining over here. Woo! Sorry. And I just put the colander right inside of the pan, just so that it's kind of out of the way. Let it drain. It's still got a little bit of heat coming off of it. So I don't know, I might stir it up, give it just another minute. Let some more of that heat out before I throw it into the mix. But it doesn't, you don't want it to scald your veggies and stuff that you're putting in there, so you don't want it to be like super hot. I'm gonna give it just another minute to cool off. Let some of that heat off of it. But in the meantime, I've got my bowl here, got my egg in there. I'm gonna throw in my feta cheese, throw in my cucumber. Ooh, it's over there. Throw in my tomato. All right, and that is gonna sit there and wait a minute until my pasta has cooled down a little bit, and then we'll finish it off. Okay, one thing I did kind of forget to mention at the end, I just thought about it now. I moved, you can see my colander is gone. I popped it in the sink and just ran some cold water on those noodles. You can totally do that. That's not gonna hurt a thing because you really don't want them to be drying out before you get them into whatever you're making them in. So little cold water through the colander, that's gonna help them cool off a little bit quicker so you can finish up your meal prep a little bit quicker. So that's what I did. All right. And now I'm just gonna pop them right in my bowl. And the other thing you can see is there's no measuring. This is a meal you are making for yourself. It doesn't matter if your portions are off a little bit, okay? Don't get stressed about how much of this and how much of that, and just put food together. On something like this with a pasta salad, it's gonna be good. It's gonna taste good. You know, if you accidentally make twice as much noodles as you needed, yeah, pour some in, mix it together, see how it is. And, you know, if you feel like you need a little more, throw in a little more noodles, mix it around. You know, same thing with any ingredient. Cut some up, throw it in. You can always add more if you don't like the proportions, okay? So, all right, so now that we got that in there, I'm gonna shake up my Italian dressing. You wanna be kind of liberal with this, okay? So, because your salad's gonna be dry if you don't put good stuff on it, okay? So, all right, and then this is kind of what I was just talking about. And I'm gonna mix it around, see how that looks. See if I need to add a little more dressing or if I feel like that's good enough. Basically what I wanna do is I wanna make sure that these ingredients are all coated so that they all stay nice and, what do I wanna say? You don't want it to get dried out, okay? So throw a little more, mix it up a little bit more. The other thing you wanna kind of keep in mind is if you're able to, this is gonna be better if you save back a little bit of your dressing to throw in right before you eat it, okay? So this is good, I think. I don't know if you can tell by looking at it. To me, it looks like it's got like a good amount of moisture in there where it's gonna stay. I'm gonna obviously put a lid on it before I put it in the refrigerator. And then when I get it out, when I put some into a bowl, I'm gonna pop just a little bit more of this on it right when I go to eat it. It's gonna be amazing. So that's basically it. That's my pasta salad. I'm gonna throw the lid on and I'm gonna throw it into the refrigerator. And this is gonna be good for days. I usually don't eat it right away because, you know, you wanna give it enough time to get all the flavors to kind of come together, let that dressing soak into everything. So, you know, and you want it chilled. So give it at least an hour or so maybe. And then it'll be good and it'll feed you for days. So that's my pasta salad for when you're out of town, or anytime really. Yeah, let me know if you have any comments and subscribe to my channel if you're interested in learning. You know, if nobody ever taught you how to cook, that is not your fault, you know? So you just gotta be willing to try it. You gotta be willing to do something badly in order to be able to do it well. So just easy stuff, start off, make your own food, stop relying on anybody else to feed you. You can make food happen. All right, have a good day.